Okay, hey everyone, welcome back to Yearning's YouTube channel and soon to be also a podcast, so you might be listening to this only in your ears. I'm Natalie, and today I have a nice and very special guest to the channel, Valentine, who is right now in Portugal but lives between Portugal and Costa Rica, working as a content creator or has a whole brand and business around content creation and storytelling and hospitality services. And you're originally from France, right? But
Mm-hmm.
now you have kind of traveled around through work and found your way to Portugal for the time being. And I'm so curious to hear more about your journey and your thoughts and reflections about navigating the human experience and also being a creative and working with your passions and in the art world. So, yeah, tell us a bit more about yourself. Welcome, first and foremost. Thank you for being here. And yeah, let us know a bit more how come you're doing what you're doing today.
Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you for having me. Those are big question and big topic. Basically, you are asking me to recap my life in in a few sentences. But maybe I can start a little bit from where I come from and what led me to where I am. I want to say when you invited me, I was reflecting a little bit of my life journey. And it's funny because I was never this person that at 16 or 17 has a passion and know that this is it, and have the clarity that I'm going to become a photographer and I'm going to dedicate all my life to content creation. No, it didn't happen at all like this. At 17, when I finished high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I felt actually very pressured of like, how am I supposed to choose right now my career? I don't even really know myself, right? At 17, at the end of high school. And so where I am today was just an accumulation of decision where I was just following what felt right. And suddenly I am this content creator, photographer, creative director. And it's funny because it's really life that brought that to me. So just to go back a little bit about like the different step, but when I finished high school and I had no idea what I wanted to do, I moved to London, and in order to learn English.
Mm.
uh, obvi- Obviously I learned English, but I was partying a lot at that time. Like London was crazy.
Mm.
But I did realize when I was there that I had two things that were very important for me. It was travel and it was people. And
Mm.
those were the things that excited me. And I realized that I wanted to study hospitality because hospitality and working in a hotel was related to travel. I could work anywhere from any hotel around the world, and I would constantly be in contact with people. Um, so I was sharing an apartment with a man who was going to study in Switzerland in one of those hospitality school pretty renowned, and I decided that that was going to be my path. So I moved to Switzerland, and it was a shock. I think I cried for the first 2 or 3 months every night of what am I doing in Switzerland. Like the shock between London and Switzerland for me was really hard because
Yeah.
I went from like meeting a lot of people, very international scene, and like being out all the time to Switzerland, right? Like I was going to school with the same people, I was having lunch with the same people, I was going
Yeah.
for dinner, and I felt very restrained. But that was from my very close mindset because when I look back at this school, it was one of the most amazing decisions that I've taken. And if I can recommend to anybody that really don't know exactly where they are going, this type of
Mm.
study, hospitality, gives you the opportunity to work in so many different fields afterwards. I have friends that now work in events, in finance, me in marketing, or even obviously in hotel, in restaurant, and also hospitality gives you the tools to navigate human, right, and talk with human, and I think in any work that we do we have this human connection, and I think
Mm.
it's the most precious gift to know how to relate with your client, with your customer, with everybody. So
Mm.
that was really a beautiful, beautiful experience, and also a great tool for hospitality. But I still had the itch of the city. So after Switzerland, I moved to New York.
Ah, nice.
I lived Portugal. I think it's my sixth or seventh country. So I've been around.
Wow. Yeah.
So I moved to New York, and over there I work in a very fancy hotel, boutique, Upper East Side. I was going to work with my blazer, my heels, my hair were proper down. Like when I think about all of this, I feel like I had maybe 10 different life in one life,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
beautiful. And over there I started to work in the restaurants, and because initially I wanted to open a restaurant. That was my thing. I was like, I want to open a restaurant. I think restaurants so nice. People gather, they exchange, they share food. But then I didn't realize, and when you work in a restaurant, you actually don't sit, you don't gather. Your friends
Mm.
are, but you are just running around like crazy.
Yeah. Stressful.
Yeah, like really, I will never go back to the restaurant business. I work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, like 12 hours, with very picky clients who were not happy because one toast was not toasted properly on
Mm.
one side. And but
Yeah.
it was fine because I was in New York. I was 21 years old. I was full of energy. I was going out. I was waking up at 4, and I was just like going for it. And also one of my philosophy of life, and I have a tattoo about it actually in the back, which is a tattoo that I've done a while ago. It says Meraki. Meraki,
Ah,
do you know?
yeah.
Yeah, in Greek, which mean whatever you do it with passion, do it fully, do it with all the love. And this is something that I've always lived by, even if there are some moments where I don't like the job, that I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this task. I've always show up with all my love and all my presence and all my focus. And I think this is also why life has rewarded me every time. Like just showing up to work and
Mm.
respecting my schedule and being yeah, like professional, like. And the people that I used to work for, they always saw that, and they always allowed me to move forward, like trusting. Um, so this hotel in New York, they really liked my work, so they offered me to give me a visa, a H-1B visa. I don't know if you know, but USA visa, all of this very complicated, right?
Yeah.
So to receive a H-1B, it's a chance, and there's not a lot of people that get that. But in order to justify, I'm going into the detail because it's just for you to see how I ended up where I am right now, because
Yeah.
it's really
Oh,
just life.
give us the whole story. It's
Yes.
very interesting.
It's really just life bringing things to me. So they give me this
Mm.
visa. I'm like, sure, I'm in the restaurant. But in order to justify, they have to put a position that somebody local could not perform, right? So on my visa application, they put that I will be like an international marketing specialist. I was
Okay.
not at all a marketing specialist. But anyway, it went through. I got the visa. And the hotel is like, you know what? Maybe it would be nice if your job actually match your visa status. So why don't you move to marketing? And I was like,
Mm.
sure. And I ended up in the marketing department, and this is where my whole path towards beauty, towards brand, towards creation started, like really
Mm.
randomly. Never made that decision on myself, but I loved it. I loved it because this hotel was very picky, very boutique, very like the owner was like on top of everything. So this job taught me about detail, standards, and quality above everything. But I had at that moment when people were asking me where do you want to live in the future, or where do you see yourself? I always said that I don't know, but I know that it's going to be a place where I don't need to wear shoes and I can watch the sunset every night.
What, what goosebumps when you said that.
I see. I don't know. I think I always had the beach in me
Mm,
somehow. I don't know where I was getting this from, but I was like, I just want to live barefoot. And
yeah.
um, and so I got another job offer in Panama for a hotel concept I was opening. It was called Selena. I don't know if you know. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Hostel kind of.
Exactly. Yeah. I went from the luxury to the hostel. And I was
Mm,
like, fuck it. I don't care. I gave away all my nice clothes, but like a ton of clothes because in New York I was like out of control. I was just buying and buying and buying. I gave away my apartment, I gave away my visa, and I said, fuck it. I took 2 luggage and I arrived to Panama City to work for
wow.
this hotel. Yeah. And that didn't last long. After 3 months, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know if you ever been to Panama City.
I've only been to the airport
Yeah.
several times. It's intense. I'm like, oof.
Mm, it's not a nice city. It's very dangerous.
Ah,
Guys whistles at women a lot, and for me that was very painful.
yeah.
Like whenever I was going in the street, I was walking from a point A to B as fast as possible, like walking, looking down. Yeah, and I was like, I cannot live like that. For me,
No,
the feeling of safety is like one of the most important. I cannot live in a place where I don't feel safe.
no.
Yeah. So after 3 months, I told them, listen, that was a mistake. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go back to New York. I think I can give more from New York. And again, the owner of the hotel, he made me an offer, and he was like, you know what? Go back to New York, but keep working for us. We're gonna create this position for you. You're gonna be like a brand ambassador, and you will represent us. And this moment is when I started this freedom type of
Mm,
relationship to work, because I was
mm,
not tied to an office. I didn't have a boss behind me, and I was just working from my computer. So that was like a big,
amazing.
yeah, like the biggest opening. And you can never come back from this, you know.
No, I totally feel you.
Yeah. It's like a fruit that you bite, and after biting this, it's like that's it. You just,
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
can't.
Yeah, and that was beautiful, but it did requires, I mean, I'm sure you know, it does require a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
But I was very aware of that. I remember like being in the beach in Tulum when Tulum was still nice, because now it's maybe destroyed. I don't know if you know, but and
Yeah.
having all my friends and be like, I have to sit behind my computer and to work, because if I don't do this, then I will lose that freedom. So I was very aware of that. So I always put the hours. I always, yeah, spend a lot of time in front of my computer working. But that was beautiful. I really didn't like the job, but I like the freedom. So I
Yeah.
did it for quite some time. But I really didn't like Selena. I didn't like the philosophy behind. It
Mm,
was a bunch of guys that just wanted to grow and make a lot of money and expand. And that was like really something that
not
was not,
so intentional vibes,
yeah,
maybe.
yes. But at that moment, I was still like just running around through my life without really asking myself too much question. I was
Mm,
still young. I at that moment, I never meditated. I started a little bit of yoga, but that was
mm,
about it.
yeah.
Uh, I started. This is actually this is when the shift happened. I was working for Selena when I met Diego, the man that was behind Zunya. Do you remember Zunya? Yes.
I love Zunya.
Yeah, Zunya. Zunya for me was like the door to everything. He is a man that I've met through friends, and we bump into each other in a hotel in Paris one day, and I told him that I was working in hospitality, and he's like, this is amazing. I have this project in Costa Rica. Come, I want to show it to you. I took a flight. I never do that, Natalie. I never, if a man that I don't know tell me to travel somewhere, I don't do it.
Yeah.
But this time I was like, I don't know, I just felt it. I was like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go. I have to go
Yeah.
explore. And Costa Rica, I mean, I'm sure you have the same, but just the name Costa Rica carries so
Yeah.
much, right? So I went and I fell in love. I fell in love with the project. I fell in love with the people, and I felt that before Zunya, I was like a lost soul, just going around, from
Mm,
shop to restaurant, and Zunya really like opened up a little flame in me. And for those
mm,
that are listening, Zunya was and doesn't exist anymore, but it was a hospitality community concept in the beach of Malpais, which is a little town just next to Santa Teresa. And I mean, the land was just
it's incredible. It's like heaven on earth,
heaven
kind
on
of.
earth. Exactly. I like it was a private bay on a little secluded beach where you could surf, and it was a beautiful team of people that wanted to do things differently.
Mm.
And I did my COVID over there. No, it
Oh,
was yeah, it was beautiful. And Diego,
mm,
the owner, like told me about meditation, and I started reading books there. Like my first book that kind of opened up my mind was of Michael Singer.
untethered soul.
Actually, yes, I read this one and the experiment also.
Then experiment. Wow, I love this book.
No, they are amazing. They really. I remember that I put the book down while reading it on the beach of Sunya, and I told Diego, how is that possible that nobody ever told me that before about the thoughts in your head, the voice? When I think about it now, I'm like, this is funny. But
Mm,
but back then I was like, yes, I'm 27 years old, and I was never aware that I do have this voice in my head that is constantly talking, and I can detach myself from it, and I can observe it. And
mm,
how is that possible? And so I started a little bit of rebellion towards education and the education system. I'm like, they're not teaching us how to be human, how to deal
mm,
with our emotion, how to understand what's going on inside of us. How is that possible that
mm.
nobody's telling us that? And when I think about it right now, I'm still a little bit like, ugh.
Yeah, no, but it's mind blowing once you make the connection to realize that you're just an observer of your thoughts, and they're like a projector in front of you. And when you make the shift and realize there's two separate people inside of you, like the true you and the crazy thought machine,
Yeah,
it's like, all right, my mind is, I can't unsee this.
yeah, yeah. No, it's beautiful. I wish everyone will go through that though.
Mm.
Yeah. So really, Sonia opened up my mind a lot, and it was beautiful because also Diego, this man, trusted me from the beginning. He told me the brand didn't exist. There was no logo, nothing, no Instagram. And he told me, you're just going to do it. And, and I remember telling myself the first years, I was like, my philosophy was fake it until you make it. Then. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. Sorry?
That's a good philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know until you don't know until you do it, I think like if you're always waiting to be ready, you will never do
Mm.
anything. Sometimes you just need to take the leap and trust and do your best again, like do your best, do what feels right. And Zunya, I've done it based on intuition, clear, purely intuition of like creating things that are beautiful, that feels right, that are not pushy. I was telling everybody like we're not selling anything. Like Sonia will never sell anything. We're just gonna share a way of life, and whoever wants to join, they will join the dance. But it's never gonna be about book deals and
Yeah,
sorry.
it's not so commercial.
Yes, yeah, yeah. That's what I wanted to avoid.
I remember being there, and your soul feels so nourished yet free. It's something in the air as well. It's like a free little space that where the rules have been rewritten.
Yeah, no, yeah, like a little utopia
Mm.
that didn't last for long though. Like we had, I think, 4 years of magic.
Mm.
But then, yeah, so I was I was creating the brand, and this is where, I mean, I always had, just to tie it back to where I am today, also regarding photography, because at that moment I was not a photographer. I think I bought my first camera when I was 18, and then I took a few pictures in London, and then I just put it away. But I always loved beauty. Like, I would just scroll through Pinterest and pictures, and I used to really love that. And Charlie joined the team at Zunya as a photographer and filmmaker. So you know Charlie, who is my ex and also my work partner. So we have a creative company together, creative agency, and I remember that I had my Instagram, and sometime I will just go on Pinterest, and I will take picture that I like, and I will post it on my Instagram, like if it was mine, and Charlie will go nuts. It's like, you cannot do that. Like, this is not like no, you cannot. Like, if you want to create, if you like images, you just buy a camera and create, you know. I was like, okay, so this is a little bit how I pick up the camera. And I started a little bit doing some photography, which makes sense, right? At one point, it's like, you like beauty, create it, you know,
Yeah.
instead of just consuming it. But it was very hard because Charlie is an amazing photographer. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've seen, and I was always comparing myself. I mean, your partner is a photographer; like, he just get it, you know. He just take the
Yeah.
shots and he edits, and everything is just like on point. And I'm coming me, and I always compare myself, and it's never good enough. And it was a really hard process for me to kick this off, finding my own voice, not
Yeah.
comparing myself, trusting. Actually, the woman that allowed me to kick this off is Julie from This Way.
Okay.
Yeah, she was so cute because she really trusted me. I remember one day she hired me. I had no idea what I was doing. She hired me and she put three women together, booked a huge villa, and she's like, we're gonna shoot. I was so nervous. And I remember that I was telling myself before going to the shoot, I am an amazing photographer. I am an amazing photographer. I am an amazing photographer. I just like wanted to trust again.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know Amanda, right? Amanda Orgar, a woman that does a lot of Kundalini? No?
No, I'm not sure if I know her. Now maybe I'm just not thinking properly, but
It's okay. She's just like a woman that I follow, and I do a lot of her work. She does a lot of Kundalini yoga.
oh,
And why I'm mentioning her, because she also has this say that I'm even thinking of tattooing it. She says, truth is my guide, trust is my pillar.
mm,
And yeah, and it's something that I've been living by a lot, you know, like really trusting. I
yeah.
really fully trust that the universe has our back, and that the more we put ourselves out there, the more it's going to reward us.
Mm,
You know, like just me coming here and sharing, even if I
yeah.
had like this, little resistance, I'm like, oh, I'm scared. I'm like, no. Because we also have, it's important, I think, the distinction, because saying no is very important.
Yes.
But there's also saying no because it's not meant for you, right? It's like, no,
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it. Or saying no just because there's fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this fear that is just kind of like holding you back. And I know for this conversation that we're having today, it was just a little fear. I was like, no, you're
Mm,
protecting, like, don't put
mm,
yourself out there, like, baby, while there's something bigger behind.
mm,
So to be able to acknowledge that is very important. But I think um, one of the biggest lessons also that I've had in the past years, because Zunya stopped 2 years ago, and I was a
mm,
full-time job with Zunya. Until that, I was always full-time with my clients. And when
yeah.
Zunya stopped, and from one day to another, my entire universe just fell apart. I broke up with Charlie. Zunya fell. I was thought of moving back. It was horrible. And I
Yeah.
promised myself that I would never have all my eggs in the same basket again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like, yeah, if a project stop, which is fine, it's life, project stop,
Mm.
job stop, like we live in this impermanence, this state of impermanence, nothing ever lasts, and I just want to have this security. That's a way for me to have the security that if one stop, it's okay, I have more
Mm.
things going on.
Mm.
But through this journey of getting clients and working with new projects, one of the most important thing is to be able to say no. Like last year, I didn't have clients at all. I was just moving to Portugal. I was financially like really restrained. I had enough, to pay my rent and to live a little bit, but that's it. Like I couldn't just
Mm.
travel and enjoy it. I'm just gonna give you an example and that of why I think it's important to say no, because the universe really like
Yeah, 'cause
rewarded me. I get
find
this. Sorry.
it's nice to find alignment, and when you say no, you can create space for the right things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I got this job offer, and it was a really good job offer. They offered me 3 days a week, like a really good amount of money, and I just didn't felt it. Like I went into it. I met the woman, and I had this resistance, and all my family was like, "Take it, Val. Take it for a
Yeah.
few months, like just in order to make a little bit of money." I was like, I cannot. I think
Yeah.
like when you start like being close to your truth, there are
Mm.
something it just can't. Is
Yeah.
even if I force I mean, I just can't. So I
No.
said no.
Mm.
I say no, and I stayed in like very low income and like just fully trusting and be really
Mm.
of like, okay, I cannot spend money, so what can I do to still be active and still be
Mm.
of service? And I remember starting working in a dog rescue center and like just,
Oh.
yeah, just trying to like do something.
Mm.
And 2 months later, I had the two most aligned project that came, a project in Costa Rica and a project in Portugal. And for me, that was it. It was like the answer and the proof. And now I fully rely on my truth and on the universe to have my back, whatever happened.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, also like the surrender experiment, because trust and surrender are kind of the different sides of the same coin. That in order to trust, you need to surrender. In order to surrender, you need to trust. It's like this
But
dance.
for sure, but you know what? This book always confuses me because the surrender experience, he says yes to everything. You remember?
Yeah.
He always say yes. He takes everything and then he does his best at whatever he does and he becomes the most successful man. But then what we're talking about now, right? About saying no also. So I don't know.
No, I'm also, because the thing is as well, if you're like if you feel your way through life and you trust your intuition and everything, I also feel like you need space sometimes in between to like integrate stuff and to get clarity, and you can't just always be on and taking action. Like I really believe in taking like spiritually aligned action, setting your attention, setting the intention to be of service, to let like the universe flow through you and all these things, but I totally agree that sometimes you can't move forward. It's like you need to honor that you're a nature, and sometimes you need to die and like just totally collapse, and then in order to birth something new, you can't just be always like
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So surrender experience, yes, but not too much. Like I think as women especially, we're so wired to please, and say yes and say yes, and one of our biggest challenge, and I see it, is just to be able to say no, like
Yeah.
this is not for me, and with a lot of love, it's like, because no doesn't need to be mean or hard, like you can just say no with a lot of respect towards the other. My mom
Definitely.
also, she's a very pleasing woman, and the other day she said no to somebody and I'm like, I am so proud of you, mom. Like,
Oh.
yes, keep doing no, keep saying no.
Mm. It's like setting loving boundaries. like with love, but I need to take care. You need to fill your own cup first in order to give.
Yeah, especially as a woman, I feel it. Like I do have like those wave. For example, photography. I haven't really shot in the past months. I went to Costa Rica right now for 3 months, and I didn't touch my camera for 3 months.
Oh wow, that's impressive because I feel like over there you get quite creative, like naturally, because everything's so beautiful.
I know. I'm still a bit shocked about why. I mean, I was
Yeah,
very busy. I had a lot of work, and Santa Teresa can be such a vortex of energy, and there's always something happening, and people are telling you go there and you go surf and then you go breakfast and then you go work, and then actually I know you don't have time. For me to create, I need a lot of space, mental space to be like, okay, now I have the energy to take my camera and go there. But if I'm constantly interacting with people and
yeah.
social environment, I'm always drained. And when I don't have anything to do, I just want to
Mm,
rest.
definitely. And I also feel when it comes to creativity that if you want to create something like from the depths of your heart and something genuine, like for me, like for example, when I've been creating this YouTube channel, I kind of need to shut off the world to hear my inside and to be like, what wants to come through. And I can't be out and about and being the social energy. I have to like retreat a bit in order to like get in touch, you know?
Exactly. I'm exactly the same. I have become a little bit an introverted person over the years.
Mm,
I think I'm like on a 30 30% social and then 70% cocooning on my own.
mm.
But
I'm
I
on
was,
the
you're the same?
path.
Yeah. But I trust that it might not always be like that, And like you said, we go through this cycle. So maybe we're in this cycle of needing a lot of time on our own. But I trust that maybe in a few years, I'm just going to want to be out there, you know? So let's see. So now I'm just came back after 3 months in Costa Rica, and when I arrived to Portugal, after 1 or 2 weeks, I look around and I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. I just love Costa Rica. I
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go back eventually to live there. I really love the freedom, and I don't
yeah.
need much, in my life. I'm happy about the surf and the
Mm.
nature and the monkey, and
The good fruits and
yeah,
coconut. Yeah,
exactly. That's all I need.
yeah.
So I'm a little bit like you. I'm excited about Europe because there's an energy. I think we're both young. We still want to create,
Mm,
and this beautiful project in Portugal that are coming up, and I really love to support hospitality concept coming to life. And there's much more of this here than in Costa Rica.
mm,
So I want to
mm.
trust that right now this is what I need to do and what I want to do. Um,
Yeah.
but eventually, when I'm tired of the social and the race and all of this, I will just go back.
Yeah.
And you will find me as a little wild woman in the jungle.
No, I totally hear you. It's like when you've tasted the simple life and the freedom and living totally connected to nature and like just waking up and just seeing the greenery and just walking down to the beach and not wearing, you don't need anything. Basically, you need so little things and it's but you go to bed every night and you're so full, you're so like you feel so abundant. Or when I'm in Costa Rica, it's like I'm just I just feel like the whole of me is online and like the nature really like makes you everything is more colorful and more intense in one way, but it's also like it feels like I'm living life properly, I'm alive, I'm being a human,
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Living with the sun, I love it. We go to bed at
Mm.
9 a.m. At 9 p.m.
Yeah,
You wake up at 5.
yeah.
Like you say, I don't have clothes over there. I wear the same long men t-shirt that I just like put on whenever I come back to the city, and I'm like, we're going for dinner, and I look at the clothes and I'm like, oh my God, like this is so
Yeah.
frustrating. Like, I really don't like it, but I have to play the game. I'm not gonna go just with like my long t-shirt. I need to put layers
Yeah.
on. And yeah, it's details, but that for me, like the not consumerism also. Like,
Mm.
I went to spend, I don't live in Lisbon, I live like more in the nature side, so I'm still a little bit in a more slow paced.
Mm.
But I went to Lisbon the other weekend, and it's so crazy when I arrive into a city how the city just take me away, and I just forget about all my values, and suddenly I am in shops buying things that I don't need, in shops that I don't like, and I'm like, what is going on? And I'm ordering Uber Eat, and I'm like, it's the
Yeah.
consumerism in the city is just like so intense, and
Mm.
and it's hard for me to trust myself also. Like, and I have friends calling me, let's go there, and then suddenly I'm drinking wine and I'm buying cigarette while I stop smoking, and I'm like, what is going on? I need to go back to the nature.
I totally do. It's like all the temptations of the city that you, on a truthful level, you're like, not for me. Like, it's nice. I understand why people do it, but I'm a nature person. I can't. I'm living this different life. But then it's like served in front of you, and you're like, oh, but I'll do some online shopping, or that's nice. That's convenient.
Yes, yes. I loved in Costa Rica there's no Amazon.
No.
Because yeah, you actually, when I went there before COVID, I went there with the little luggage that you can fit in the plane, because I was supposed to stay, I think, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and I actually stayed for 1 year, and I
Wow.
literally had like four t-shirts and one jean shirt,
Mm.
and that was beautiful because it really taught me how to let go and live the simple life. And like I was telling you, I mean, I live in Paris and in London and in New York, and I was just buying so much clothes.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane, and like suddenly not needing it and slowing down. I think really Costa Rica is something that taught me about slowing down, not expecting
Mm.
things right away. Even when your car breaks, like, it's not gonna
Yeah.
get fixed tomorrow. Maybe like in 2 weeks. And really reconnecting to the normal pace of life, right? It's like nature doesn't
Yeah.
rush, yet everything is accomplished. And I really, really love that, because I
Same.
now that I'm 32, suddenly I'm like, wait, what? Like, where life has been, like 32
Mm.
years old, like this is going too fast. And I'm
Yeah.
really tapping into how can I slow down? How can I really enjoy it and and stop running around?
Mm.
Actually, this is my latest tattoo here that says slow. Just
I
a
love.
reminder. Yeah, because even me, that I really try to embody, slowing down,
Mm.
we forget, like whatever philosophy that today I'm like, I embody, like, yes, slow. Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be like, the coffee and then the work, and I have to
Yeah.
remind myself constantly to slow down,
Mm.
to slow down. In conversation, in my work, in how I walk in the street, when I drive, it's this fast paced is all over, in how people have sex, like it's how people
Yeah.
eat, how people work, like it's just everywhere. We are constantly chasing something that
Next,
doesn't even exist. Sorry?
the next dopamine rush. People are like running to get. Yeah.
Running, or maybe they think they are missing out of time, or I'm actually reading a book about slow. It's something that I really try to embody more and more. It's not
Mm.
easy.
No, definitely not.
Mhm.
It's the same. All these contrasts, like the fast-paced life in the city versus the very slow life that sometimes gets a bit boring and lonely. But then it's like it's always just finding the balance between the yin and the yang, like in all the things. Because sometimes I'm also, because I can be hard on myself when it comes to some of these like philosophies that I'm like, I have to live more in connection to nature with my like feminine cycle, and then that almost becomes rigid. And then I'm like, okay, but Natalie, loosen the grip. Like, don't take it too seriously. Like, try to slow down, but then also sometimes you're just full of energy and like feel the life in you and you're inspired, and then stuff might go a bit quicker, and then you're like, okay, now I need to like chill down a bit, and like just finding the more of the push and pull a bit more naturally, because like I don't know, it's such a hard balance between always being in the same kind of like some phases I go through, and I'm like, I just want slowness. I don't want to see people. I want to be in. I just want to read books on the beach. Like I don't talk to me. I just want to immerse myself in this. And then for other phases, I'm like, I want to go out and dance to like electronic music, And then sometimes I'm like,
Yes.
how can I be both? Because I'm like, I feel like I'm a fraud. I'm like, one moment I'm like, namaste, peace, and then I'm like, whoa, music.
No, I love that. I think this is the beauty of the human experience, We are so much. And also what is beautiful is that we can hold all those different and even opposite emotion at the same time. I think I love that. And I had this comparison, about the up and down, even in emotion, right? Like the excitement and then the sadness and like all of this that makes us alive, like the
Yeah.
slowing down and suddenly the excitement. I
Mm.
was comparing it to a heartbeat, a
Mm.
heartbeat that go up and down and up and down, and that means that you're alive, right? If you start feeling and you're trying to be too constant or not to feel too excited or not to have anger or not to have sadness, suddenly you just become flat, and a flat heart is a dead heart, right? So
Definitely.
yeah, and I think it's beautiful to go for it, like be angry and be sad and feel everything that needs to be felt, because this is what it is to be alive. And if we start to avoid that, then we're just
Mm.
gonna miss on everything. I've
Yeah.
always also been like changing my mind all the time. My family are like so confused with me sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, but last week you said that, and now you said that, and I'm like, yes, and what? Like, can I not just change? Change my
Yeah.
mind, change my mood. Like, obviously, I think it's beautiful, and it makes it exciting, and it makes even the relationship with our own self excited. It's like we
Mm.
rediscovering ourselves every day.
Yeah.
Today
Yeah.
I'm not the person I was yesterday. It's like, okay, so what's showing up today? Like, how am I? What do I want to do? And the words, my word of the year actually is fluidity, because
Mm.
I'm a little bit like you. I related, when suddenly you become too frigid and you're like, it needs to be like
Yeah.
this and then like this and then like this, and if I don't do it like this, then ooh la la, that's not good. I'm like, this is not
Mm.
how this is supposed to work. A little bit of fluidity. If suddenly, yes, I have this event or this call and it's gonna break my routine, then it's fine. I think it's the same
Mm.
with relationship. I see a lot
Mm.
of people that, especially in the scene where people are a little bit more conscious of themselves and who they
Yeah.
are, suddenly they become very good in their own little bubble with their
Yeah.
own routine, and they are having a really hard time letting somebody in, a new
Yeah.
partner, a new girlfriend, a new boyfriend, because that person is just gonna mess things up. It's
Yeah.
gonna create a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Go
it's
on.
okay. It's just gonna create a little bit of imbalance, and they don't want that. And I think I've been a little bit on that path also, of like, no, I need to go to bed at this time and to wake up at this
Yeah.
time in order for everything to be good. And I'm like, I don't think this is how we're supposed to play with this
No.
beautiful life.
Get too controlling.
Yes, I can be a little bit controlling.
But it's also like you need, as you were talking about in the beginning, like about discipline and structure, and like in order to flow, you need a lot of structure as well. And in order to have freedom, you need to put like boundaries, and like it's also finding the balance in those aspects to not to hold yourself accountable and to do your best, and but then also to like, okay, I can go out and have some fun and sleep a few less hours, or have some wine one evening with some friends. Like it's okay. Like don't be so hard on ourselves as well.
Yes, yes, exactly. This is very present for me right now. a little bit more celebration and enjoy life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also discipline, but I think I'm a very disciplined person and very organized, and I think this is also what helped me a lot with my work. But
Mm.
also what makes me disciplined is also something that vary with time, you know. So
Mm.
I can have my to-do, stupid example, I can have my to-do list on my computer, you know, like every day
Yeah.
and it can work like this for 1 month. And then after
Yeah.
I'm like, no, actually I want to write everything down. I want my to-do list on the paper. And then
Mm.
sometime I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put the objective for the month. And then I'm like, no, I just want to do like every day, you know, a little thing. So it's just also having flexibility
Mm.
in your structure and how you work and letting that flow also a little
Yeah.
bit.
No,
That's
I'm very disciplined in one way, but my discipline is almost different on a daily basis. Like when I do my workout or when I meditate or whatever, like before I would try to do it at the same time and like have a routine in that way, but now I'm like I'll get it in there, but I'll just be totally like I'll be more impulsive with when I do it because I like feel more into my body. Like now I woke up and I'm feeling very creative. I'll go to a cafe early in the morning and get some stuff just like get it out of my head, and then I'll come home and then I'll meditate. You know, I'll just like switch it up, and it's created so much more freedom and flow in my life that I'm not hard with the like how it should look like. I just like flow a bit more, but I'm still like I get it done because I know how much it means and how good it makes me feel.
yes. I think we are very fortunate to have the freedom to create our life day by day according to what works for us. I think there's not a lot of
Yeah,
people that
very
have, yes, this chance, really.
yeah.
And to be able to, I mean, this is also, I reflected that to a friend the other day, what success mean to me. And for me, success means freedom. It
Mm.
doesn't mean X amount of money on my bank account. It just means that if today I don't want to work, then I won't. If today I want to travel there and work from there, that I can. Like this is what is the most important for me. I really feel like I would be in a prison if I
No,
somebody was telling me where I have to go and at what moment and just controlling my attention and what I need to look at what moment. For me that feels very restraining.
I totally agree. That's the thing when you start to think about what's valuable, and then you realize that time is the like biggest currency, and attention as well, that like how you spend your time and what you're consuming is the most that's like will reflect the life quality. And I think once you realize the life quality, for example in Costa Rica, then all the other stuff you value it differently.
Yeah, really, completely. But
I'm curious.
also, you know, I mean, Costa Rica is not for everyone also. So
No.
I say that and I have a lot of friends who are like, I will never live in the jungle. And I get that. It's not for everyone. So I'm not
Yeah,
saying that the Costa Rica is the way and the nature is the way. I think it's just my soul who is longing for that, and I respect and admire also people that find the joy and the beautiful moments in cities and living in apartments, you know, because you need a bit of everything in it in order to make this world run.
yeah, we need the people who make the economy go round a bit more as well.
Exactly. Yes.
Totally. I'm curious to hear because you mentioned Michael A. Singer's book, but I know that you read and that you have, or I've seen that you've posted like books and stuff on Instagram. I'm curious if you have any other like book recommendations that you were like, people should read this book.
Oh my God. Wait, I'm looking behind because I have my books. I know that a novel, I mean, I had many years of self growth, personal growth books, which I do love, but I think right now I've moved a little bit more to the novel,
Mm.
which I love novel, like when when a book take you, and that you can laugh. I love to catch myself in a book and laugh, you know, out loud. It's like, okay, I'm so into it.
Yeah.
But so my best book of last year was Shantaram. I don't know if you heard.
Oh, I love this. This is my favorite book ever.
Really, so good,
Oh, I
so
can't
good.
believe you said that. It's amazing.
The best book. Really, I was so excited every time I was picking up this book, and so sad when I finished it. Um, Wait, let me see. Oh, about a woman who runs with the wolf. Obviously, this
Yeah.
is a beautiful one. It's funny though because I started that book many years ago, and that was not the moment. I remember I was looking like, what is this about? Then I put it away. And then I
Mm.
went through my life and I picked it up maybe 5 years later, and I was like, okay, this is the moment. It's funny
Yeah.
because there are books that show up too early, and you have to trust also like what connects, and don't force yourself. It's not because I'm telling you, woman, that you need to read that book now. No, it will
Oh,
come and it will resonate when the moment is right for you. And I love memoir also. There's beautiful memoir. I have read
I don't.
two. There's one that is called Educated.
By Tara or something.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I gave it to my. I think I gave it to my mom, but I haven't read it myself. I need
It's,
to read it.
I gave it to my mom and she read it. And another one, which is the mini life of Mama Love. And it's
Oh.
also a memoir about a mom that is struggling with drugs. And I just love to read a woman's life. And I'm starting a book club. I mean, not myself. I'm joining a book club in Lisbon with this
Ama-
woman. Sorry?
amazing.
Yes, I'm very excited. Actually, I have this woman, Jade, that hosts this retreat called Trust and Travel. And those are writer retreats. And she invited me to her retreat to photography it last year. And I love books. I obsessed. I actually even have a book tattoo. I love
Wow.
books. I consume books, but I've never been on the other side of the process. So in this retreat, I was sitting with, I think, maybe 12 writers. So I saw their process of writing a book. And Natalie, I was mind blown. You know
Wow.
this sentence that says like when you're if you're the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. I was in
Yeah.
the right room. I felt very intimidated by all those women. Like
Wow.
writers, their inner landscape is just so different, like I feel more, they think more, they go so deep into everything, to every emotion. I was like taking away from this experience, and also understanding that anybody can write a book, anybody can write a memoir. A lot
Mm.
of us are like, my life is not that interesting. Like, why would I write a book? No, it's not about what's happening. It's how you tell it.
Yeah.
And how, because I could write a book about my walk with my dog in the countryside, because it could be so many different things happening inside of me at that moment. And it could be a beautiful story. So that
Mm.
also changed a lot of my perspective on like, we all have a story to tell. We all
Yeah.
have. And I started my Substack channel actually after this retreat. So like
Oh.
yes, I'm not that. I'm trying at least one article per month, just to share a little bit about what happened. But it's been a beautiful process of reflection and sharing and writing. I think is a beautiful creation and even spiritual experience. It's
Yeah.
like photography or painting. Like writing is one of those tools that make us so special as a species.
Yeah. It's very intimate as well to write. Like
Yeah,
writing songs or writing a movie. You're very close to the heart and soul and the emotions.
yeah, yeah. I love it. I love to, and I love Substack. I mean, I don't know if you've been a little bit on it, but there are some
I
really.
I don't have my own.
Maybe this is your next.
Maybe. All right. Thank you for sharing the book. It's it's like you say, I like this quote that like life is measured by volume, length, and depth. And length is how long you've lived, and uh, or volume is how deep you go into all experiences. And I think the last one is width, like in how broad it is, and
Mm.
width, how much different stuff you've explored, or something like that. So it's like all these different dimensions to your life, and it's as you say with books, you can really go very deep and very broad, even though it can be about one day.
Yeah, 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 it's an art. It's really
Mm.
beautiful.
Amazing. Well, we're approaching an hour. I see already. It's crazy how the
Yes.
time flies. But I'm very curious to hear like what's up next for you. Is there anything that you like working with right now, or something you're looking forward to, or just anything else you would like to pass on or share or bring or highlight?
Um, yeah, I mean, I know that you're a yoga teacher and we haven't really touched that topic though, but
Mm.
uh, I'm going next week on a Kundalini retreat.
Oh
And
wow.
yes, and for me, really, Kundalini has been like so beautiful, like in so many levels, because it's a practice that for me work on a very subtle level, but
Yeah.
that has made so huge changes in my life. Like
Mm.
I can arrive at this retreat with a certain mindset and leave 3 days later like the opposite. And the only thing that I've done is breathe and
Yeah.
do some mantra and some chanting. Like I don't do Kundalini on a daily basis, but I'm gonna do it like yes, this retreat, and sometime I'm gonna join an online program and do some Kundalini for like 6 weeks in a row. But it's
Nice.
yeah, so I'm very excited. So I'm gonna go there to shoot actually the retreat. Yes, I love that. I love to join retreat and document it, and at the same time go into it as a participant. It's really like
Mm.
bringing two of my favorite words together, which is the creation and also going deep and going in. And also I love to gather with women in retreat. Like for me, it's like one of the most beautiful thing. I love
Mm.
to sit down next to a woman that I would have never talked to in a regular basis
Mm.
of life, and suddenly I connect, with 60 years old woman. And yeah, it's always so nice because you see yourself in each one of them, and when one heals, the other heals, through her.
Mm.
This, yeah, I mean, woman retreat. I think this is something that has made me who I am today.
Yeah, what a blessing that you through photography, because I guess also the photography becomes the storytelling of the retreat, like the energy that was created, the space, the vibe, the sacredness that happened, or the sacredness of, as you say, like gathering in a group. And it's a very beautiful thing that you can document, and like, because that's the cool thing about photography, that you're documenting like a very split second in time that something happened, and like confirming that this wasn't just our imagination, this was the experience. So that's so
Yes.
cool.
Yeah,
I,
yes. It's beautiful. Sorry?
Kundalini is so like it opens you up like on all the energy bodies, and it like rewires your brain a bit. It's pretty
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
And
It's, yeah,
like
that's why they say it's a technology,
yeah.
actually. Yeah. It's very, very powerful.
Mm.
And it's hard, but there's a part of it I
Yeah.
love when it's hard. It's
Yeah.
like give me
Same.
the hard stuff. I'm gonna suffer in your position, and then I love it. And you push through, How many times in a Kundalini I'm like this and I can't, but I'm like I'm gonna push through, and I do it, and suddenly it becomes easy. And I'm like I actually can hold this for 20 more minutes. It's
Yeah.
just yeah, it's really pushing the boundaries of what you think you're capable of, and this is also very powerful.
That's
So
good.
yes, sorry.
Sorry. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say no. That's a little bit what's coming for me, and I'm going to another gathering which is called Harvest Kaplanka in Turkey also,
Wow.
which is also a gathering of a lot of beautiful teachers and guests, and I'm also going to document this event. So I'm excited about this, and then that's it. I think
Yeah,
I'm just going day by day. That's a little bit how life works for now.
I'm very similar, I think. It's like, don't make too much. I don't like to make too much plans because I don't know who I will be in like a week's time or where my head is at. I need to get with the flow and see what feels best.
It's so funny because this was my lesson of 2024. Stop making
Really.
plans. Stop it, because it never works out.
Mm,
Never. Nothing that I've ever planned work out. I prefer to surrender to,
mm,
because also whatever you think you need is maybe not
no.
true. Simply, I really trust that the universe knows better than me
Mm,
what I need. So I stop making plans and I just flow. I think this is a beautiful way to actually close this conversation.
I I totally agree. So nice to hear all your thoughts, and I loved how you just telling your story into where you are today. It was a bit like The Alchemist. Like there were so many small spiritual like nuggets or like philosophies or approaches or like, oh, there's a book recommendation, and there's such a beautiful weaving of your life and where you are today. So
No,
thank you sharing so generously. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure people who are listening can get a lot of inspiration and maybe open up something new within themselves as well, which is kind of a intention with this channel to like plant seeds for other people's self-discovery and realize that we live in a very big and magical world, and we can create our own experiences and life here, which is a very cool thing.
amazing. Thank you so much, Natalie. That was really nice.
Thank
Yes.
you. I'll link like your Instagram and details below so people can find you
Okay,
and see the hospitality school that you went to if you'd like to recommend that, or if there's anything else we can put it down below,
perfect.
and
Thanks.
maybe you can in the future and tell us what you're up to further
Yes,
down the line as your life evolves.
I would love that. Thank you, Natalie, again.
Thank you, and thank you for listening, everyone who's made it this far. We'll be back here again soon. Lots of love. Ciao.